What's going on, peoples? You are now tuned in to the thought of TRANE, and I am fourth quarter TRANE, Cold Train, whatever the hell you want to call me. You know, being that this is the first show and all that good stuff, I had a long drawn out story to introduce myself. I was going to get deep into it. I was going to start at the first day of Sunday school, leading all the way up until now. Just real deep Spike Lee cinematic shit. I already emailed and the script and everything. I'm still waiting on a reply back. But fuck all that shit. Don't nobody want to hear that lame shit. Y'all don't want to hear it. It's my life, and I damn sure don't want to hear about it. So, with that being said, let's just get into the shit. Let's just get into the shit and why we here. What happened this week? The Verzuz happened this week. I'm just going to start off by saying this. This is what the fuck it needs to be every single time. Every single time. No kumbaya. None of that best friend bullshit. None of that. Oh, we friends. I was at your child's baptism the other day. Oh, I was at your puppy's bar mitzvah. No, kill that. We don't want to hear none of that bullshit. That battle vibe. That straight raw shit. That whole ensemble they gave us the other night. That's what we here for. That's what the fans are here for. And I know I'm just rambling right now. I'm just talking my little stuff, my little BS. But because truthfully, I enjoy Verzuz. I enjoyed it from the start. Tim, Swiss, they put together something classic. Like something real classic and dope. And it just started off from something small. As all, big creations do. Started off from IG Live. And they did have I'm not going to sit here and just shit on it. I'm playing. I'm just messing around. But it did start off from a kind of a battle vibe. A kind of battle element to it. It was, it was raw and uncut, IG Live. And then, more money started getting put into the machine and it got a little bigger. So I understand we got to see bigger productions, more put into it. But this right here, for my money, I'm going with this. What I saw Tuesday night, I'm paying everything. I'm putting mama house up to go to this show, to go see shit like this. That's what I grew up on. And I'm pretty sure most of y'all, or a lot of y'all listening to right now, that's what y'all came up on. So, but all in all, I enjoyed it. And I enjoy Verzuz, like even the ones that come on and you see the matchup maybe a week or two ahead of time. And you're like, I'm not feeling that shit, dog. I'm not checking into that. And then next thing you know, you're sitting there on the couch, you bored. Let me go ahead and turn the shit on. Let me go into the Triller app, flick that joint on, and it's dope. Because, production-wise, they just know how to put it together. So it is what it is with that. I'm just going to go ahead and get into it as far as the matchup. Locks, Dipset. So let me just start off here. The DJs. The DJs was there to set the tone. This is the scene. New York City. MSG. Birthplace of hip hop. Two of the most prominent groups, not just to come out of New York City, but hip hop, period. Dipset, they had their time. They were a whole vibe. Trendsetters, clothing wise, style wise. Flow-wise, there was a lot of baby Dipsets after that. So I know it's been a lot of Dipset slander following the match, following that show, a lot of memes. Oh my God, the memes. I'm not going to touch on that. It is what it is. So, you have that on that end of the spectrum. Then you had the locks. Just straight bully. Fucking, what they did on that stage, they could have did in an alley outside, in a hood. That's just what they do. That's what they was born to do. But, well, let's get back to the DJ. So with that being said, all that being said, it's the vibe, it's the essence of hip hop. Bars is in New York City. So I feel like the DJ should have set a nice dope ass tone for that. Dipset DJ. Oh man. So you come out the gate, fucking up. You can't have an environment like that and playing Soulja Boy. So you just can't do it. He was fucking up straight out the gate. Got him up out of there. So then we got the locks, DJ Technician, I believe that's what his name was. He came in there out the gate. He playing all the New York bangers, all the big. Just anytime you go to a New York show, this is the essence that you catch when you play the joints he was playing. So he was doing his job, and as you can see throughout just the start of that, and then throughout the whole show, with the locks, you can tell that this was well orchestrated. They have a damn near perfect camaraderie, far as we can see, the fans. Chemistry, bar none. You can tell they practiced that out. They took this shit very seriously. And I don't get that the IG posts, the YouTube posts, and all the social media shit that they was doing to hype up the match. That was promotion. I'm sure they not enemies and all that. They promoting a tour. They got a tour coming up. I believe State Property is supposed to be on that as well. But don't get it fucked up. They might have been doing all that playful shit, showing up on each other's block, but them niggas was ready to get to it. And the locks, more so. Way more so. So I feel like they came out. They set the tone with their energy. They was ready to go at niggas' necks, step on dudes' throats. And I think they threw Dipset off. Or it could be the case where Dipset was thrown off from the jump. Some internal shit going on. I don't know. I ain't here to be a chatty patty. I don't know what was going on. But I just know as a fan, just looking at it, you can feel that it was no cohesiveness on that at all. I think I was listening to a little recap. Somebody said, I believe it was Fat Joe. He said the next morning that, I don't know, for whatever reason, Cameron was ready to leave out the building. So I don't know what that's about, but whatever. It's just little things like this. It's just, it don't have to be nothing big on a grand scale. It's just them little things, a whole bunch of little things to build up to their whole chemistry was thrown off that night. So, before we get deep into it, I had these conversations with people a lot, and specifically about the Verzuz. The DJ, he sets the tone. I said this before, but the DJ set the tone. I got a homeboy who I talk about these Verzuz with all the time. He probably watching. He know what I'm talking about. Every time these matchups get announced, like maybe a week or two in advance, he hit me up like clockwork. Yo, you think that 20 can go against this 20? I mean, he be so deep into it. He's sending me the whole fucking playlist. He already got a playlist of his own. He's sending it to me. Yo, you think they can fuck with this 20? And I had to tell him every single time. It's not just about the 20 joints on paper. stats or whatever the case may be. Yeah, these 20 songs could blow, these potentially shit on these songs, stat wise, or whatever the impact may have been when they dropped. But it's about how you play them. I've seen so many of these verses where dudes come in as the heavily favored artists, and they get taken down. And at the end, you like, what the fuck happened? They didn't even play this joint. They didn't play that joint. They didn't play that number one selling joint. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's the DJ. He either played it too early, he played it too late, or he didn't play it at all. So it's a lot of factors, a lot of elements to go into that. The DJ set the tone. We seen this happen before. It was way less violent. This time it was a lot of bloodshed. A lot of bloodshed with this Lox and Dipset battle. But we seen this before with Jadakiss and Fab. People came in saying, oh, Jadakiss ain't got these kind of records to go against Fab's big records. And he showed you. See, it's more deeper than just a song. It's the placement of the song. It's the performance. It's the showmanship. These are all the things that people seem to forget. There's a younger audience that kind of really don't feel. They don't feel when maybe an older head like me say that. These are elements of hip hop. No matter how new school we may get, no matter how further the culture may progress, no matter how far it may go, it can be 1,000 years from now. If you don't have the 4, 5 basic elements of hip hop, you won't have a long lasting legacy. You might have long paper for a short period of time, but we not counting other men's pockets. We just don't do that here on the Thought of Train. But yes, you may have all those short-term accolades, but at the end of the day, we not bumping you 10, 15 years from now. And that's just what the case is. That's just what it is with that. So I watched this battle, and I knew what it was going to be the next morning. I knew what it was going to be the day after. I knew what it was going to be today. Memes, flooding your timeline, embarrassing images on one end for what happened on the losing side. Royal images, a royal outlook of the Lox, as if they didn't have it before, rightfully so. But more so the embarrassment. I mean, a number of things was happening just besides the music. I mean, you got dudes falling off the stage. You got bandanas being taken off the head, thrown to the ground, and being stomped on ferociously. There's a whole lot of shit going on. Just long story short, a whole lot of shit going on. And in my eyes, Dipset did what they did in the culture. They have a solidified legacy. For my taste, for my taste, who I roll with, who I prefer to listen to, I listen to both. My taste is, I've listened to way many more Lox records than Dipset. Taking nothing from them, but it's just for my personal taste. And we all got personal opinions, and that's not dragging the next man name through the mud or shitting on him at all. We all got different tastes and opinions. But I brought that up to say all the elements and details and factors from the outcome of that night. Did the Dipset legacy take a hit? Did it take a major hit? In my eyes, just me looking at it. Oh, just that short-term scope. Just looking at what happened. It's just a viewer and a visualizer. It looked like their legacy took a nice size fucking dent that night. And over the next couple days to come. People are looking at them differently. I'm at work. I have coworkers saying, yo, dog, I can't even listen to these niggas no more. I threw all my CDs out the fucking window. All my pink furs. I put that shit in the trash. I took it to the Salvation Army, and them motherfuckers wouldn't even take it. I said, God damn. Jesus Christ. This is not me saying it. This is what I'm seeing. And so many other things were said. I'm just going to leave that out of here. Because like I said, their legacy is solidified. I love hip-hop too much to even down-talk anybody in hip-hop. But as much as that legacy is solidified, yeah, I think it took a major hit. And with that being said, they got a tour coming up. So now this show, this Verzuz, was supposed to be the promotion for the tour. But with the events that took place during and after that show, do fans really want to come out and see them on stage? I mean, how are they going to be received coming out on stage? Excuse me. How are they going to be received coming out on stage for a 30-day tour with this type of showing that just went down and took place on Tuesday evening? I mean, a lot of people are looking at them differently. Maybe they deserve it, maybe they don't. It's just at the end of the day, no matter how you feel about it, no matter how they feel about it, it's all fair and love and war, baby. It's all fair and love and war. This is the shit that might can happen to you. And back to what I'm saying, just to bring it back full circle. That's the elements of hip hop. I mean, we had this back in the day. We had legendary battles back in the day. Kool Moe Dee and goddamn, it escapes me. I want to say Kool Moe Dee and Busy B. Y'all shit on me and slap me around if I'm wrong. KRS, Kool Herc. I mean, you just had all these live legendary battles that happened. And we weren't there for them. Well, a lot of us weren't. Some were. And we just hear the stories. We just sit around and marvel and listen to stories from shit like that. The battles. One victor standing high. One loser just looking like shit. But all in all, over decades, we still talk about them battles. And I wasn't there for them. I was a little dude when those was happening. I wasn't even old enough to remember that. But that's why I felt so happy no matter what the outcome was of what took place Tuesday evening. That was hip-hop. That was a legendary moment in hip-hop. It's stamped. It's a legendary moment that's stamped, branded, and burned in our minds for the next decades to come. Our sons, their sons, they're going to be talking about this shit. or they're going to be hearing about it. And that shit is dope. So I don't want to hear that shit. And y'all can miss me with that hip-hop shit is over. No, hip-hop is here. And if it's done right and correctly, it's going to be a lasting memory. So with that being said, I kind of asked myself, you had one end of the spectrum where you had Dipset. They took a L. They got to eat the L. They look a certain kind of way in the eyes of the public now. On the other end of the spectrum, all the way on the other side, the higher end of it, you got the Locks. Them boys looking good right now. They out here spreading their wings right now. They walking around up and down the streets. Literally. I just seen Jadakiss at a fucking bodega on IG. These niggas can walk through any hood and get a free slice, a large Sprite, a pack of Dutchess, a cold-ass Heineken. Any fucking thing they want from the bodega, they got it. As if they didn't have it before. It's through the roof now. Any fucking thing they want. If they wasn't stamped before, guess what? They stamped now. But aside from all that, just music-wise, just sticking to the music. The groups. Me, for myself, and I'll just go out on a limb, and I think it's safe to say that a lot of my fellow hip-hop heads felt the same way, because I know they do. I talk to them every day. If the Locks wasn't already a top-tier group in your eyes, and I don't know what fucking groups you've been listening to if they wasn't. But if they wasn't already, they damn sure got to be now. After that performance. Jada alone, what the fuck he did? He dismantled them. I didn't even speak on this. Jada dismantled these niggas on his own. I know Styles. You know what kind of cloth he cut from. You know he came there ready to get busy. Sheik, don't even worry about Sheik. Sheik can knock your fucking head off with the mic or one of his motherfucking forearms. That's a big motherfucker. I'll definitely be trying to get down on that nigga's side. But yeah, you know them two cats, they came ready. As they always are, as they always have been. But Jada made sure he smelled blood in the motherfucking water. He did not let up from the first minute he set the tone. And I was just having a conversation with somebody just maybe a few minutes ago. And they a big Dipset fan, big huge Dipset fan. They looked real hurt. Caught a tear in his eyes. Had to give him a Kleenex. Clean that shit up. And he felt, well, his reasoning was, he had about 3 different reasons. He really was copping pleas for these dudes. I give him that. I give him a pass on that because, you know, them his dudes. That's what he came up on. Anyway, he said, oh, the sound, the DJ, Dipset DJ didn't have the sound right. It was low. Yeah, it was low. And he gave me a couple other excuses that may have been true, a few points. But none of that shit mattered, whether it was fact or fiction. The real shit is, Jada was up there putting Tim's in niggas' ass. And the moment it was over, no matter how you was viewing it before this moment, the moment it was over, when he dropped that freestyle over the Who Shot Ya instrumental, he's a dick. You pussy, y'all neighbors. That shit was a rap. That shit was a rap, man. It was done. I don't care if what they played after that. Shit was done. He's a dick. You pussy. Y'all neighbors. I was like, yeah, you can put the TV on mute and leave it on mute for the next hour and a half because this shit is done. Nail and coffin. So, not to kick a dead horse. Well, not the horse may not be dead, but they just took a good old-fashioned L. You come back from L's. That's part of life. We all took a good old-fashioned, just good old-fashioned nasty-ass L. Like, we all did. We came back from them shits. We still here. And they still won't be here, too. They still won't be making paper. They still won't be making songs. They're going to do whatever they do. You know, that's what men do. We bounce back no matter how the public look at us. One man's opinion should not be a stamp and just, you know, it shouldn't define who you are if you a silent motherfucker. So getting back to the Locks solidifying itself as a top tier group, if they wasn't anyway, it just made me think back on some of my favorite hip hop groups, or just some of the top hip hop groups and hip hop period. So, you know, just rambling off the top of the head. If somebody came to me right now with a gun in my head, Jesus, don't do that. But seriously, if somebody came to me right now with an AK to my head and said, nigga, name some of your favorite hip hop groups, go ahead. You know, right off top of the head. EPMD, Woo, Tribe, Run DMC, Outkast, Black Moon, Black Sheep. Should I keep going? I mean, we haven't even touched the surface. But I say Black Sheep, Black Star, The Roots, Public Enemy, Brand Nubian, NWA. When you saying these names, you gotta say it with bass in your voice, nigga. Brand Nubian, NWA, Cypress Hill, Das Effects, Eric B. and Rakim, Gangstar, De La Soul, Mob, MOP, Smith & Wesson. Should I continue? No, I can't, because I'll be out here all night. There'll be a whole podcast dedicated to them. It's a lot of serious groups right there. But getting back to favorite hip hop groups, everybody got different tastes. Everybody has a different style with different flavor that they gravitate towards. Me, ever since I've been a little nigga, I don't have to think twice about my number one. You know, you can ask me about 2, 3, 4. I don't really have debates about who's 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. You know, even with that top MC debate, I really don't do that too much because it's just one man's opinion. And I done seen people, you know, get their throat cut and got shot in the head for giving the wrong answer. So I don't get in all that. Like, I don't speak politics. I don't do the hip hop list 1 through 10 and all that too good. But I can tell you, number one, straight off the top, without thinking about it, that motherfucking EPMD. And those are my dudes. And anybody that know me, know them my niggas. EPMD. That's my number one rap group of all time. That's never going to change. It's my personal favorite. I'm not sitting here waving the flag and saying they were the best. But if you ask me, shit, they were the best of me and my favorite. They just got everything that I'm looking for in a group, specifically a duo, two man duo. Chemistry. The chemistry was out of here. Before the breakup, after the breakup, they came back together. It was dope shit. The production on point, dope albums, dope product, but you can tell that the chemistry they had was different. It's a little different. And, that naturally come because y'all had time apart. But when them boys was going and they was in the flow of it, the peak of it, the prime, the chemistry was just for a rap group, top notch, bar one. Get the fuck out of here with that. I don't want to hear nothing else. The production. That was like the first time that I had ever heard like groups. And I'm sure there was some that came before them, maybe. But, I didn't know about it. Because at this time, when I caught wind of them, I'm maybe 8, 9, 10 years old at the most. So I'm a little dude running around Oshkosh with guys, fucked up tennis shoes. But it's no story. I had never heard of groups producing themselves, doing their own beats. And the style of production. They were trendsetters, the style of production. So you go on the West Coast, and I think this is why one of the main reasons why you got a lot of West Coast artists that fuck with them heavy. You remember back in the day, I think it was like the Big Payback video. NWA was in the video. Ice Cube was always fucking with him. I think Ice Cube was on, a couple of their records. I think he was on Eric Sermon's solo record, No Pressure, I think. But anyway, a lot of West Coast artists fucked with him. And a lot of people on the West Coast, just period, they was riding around bumping EPMD just like they did their favorite hip-hop artists on the West Coast. Because it was what they were sampling. They was like the first dudes, here on the East Coast, you already know what was being sampled. And they sampled it very well. No knock on them. But everybody in their mama was sampling James Brown. Over and over and over. James Brown, the JBs. And whatever else they were sampling, it was a certain East Coast sound at that time. I think Marley Marl that's a whole nother conversation within itself too. But Marley Marl was, to me, he was like maybe the first super producer in hip hop. You can argue that, but definitely on the East Coast with the Juice Crew and his style of production. I think he set a major trend with that. If you ask any of the top producers who their favorite producer is, Marley Marl is the first name to roll off their tongue. But they were sampling Zapp and Roger a lot of Zapp and Roger, a lot of funk shit, George Clinton, Funkadelics and all that, Parliament. A lot of dope ass records, but it was records that West Coast cats was touching. So, they set trends with that. The fashion, they had the bucket hats, the fisherman hats. These niggas were walking around matching. They was matching each other. Niggas had matching sweatsuits and matching hoodies on. If it was anybody else, you like, yo, get the fuck out of here, man. That shit ain't what's up. That ain't fly, man. What y'all matching? No, they made this shit look all the way fly. I never seen no shit like that. So, they was trendsetters on the fashion tip and the beats with the production. And then I think this get overlooked a lot. Because when you talk of top rap groups, EPMD does come up a lot, whether they're number one or wherever they fall in the list. They do get mentioned a lot. But I think what does not get mentioned a lot are the artists that kind of spawned from them, that branched from them, from their family tree. See, just like you got Dre, and then from Dre, you got many multiple branches. It's documented, well documented. NWA, DOC. You got solo careers of the acts in NWA. Ice Cube, Snoop, Eminem, all that shit. List goes on. But they don't talk about EPMD enough. Fucking Redman. Fucking Das Effects. K Sola. Keith Murray. Def Squad. Hit Squad. I mean, they help. You can argue who was the first super groups or hip hop families or hip hop dynasty, but they gotta be there in the top 3. They gotta be. The groups that started hip hop dynasty, that's a fucking hip hop dynasty. Look at the names I just named. Redman, Keith Murray, Das Effects, K Solo. And then you got your next branch. You know, you got another branch, Eric Sermon, and the shit that came from him. So it gets overlooked. It gets overlooked a lot. But as long as I'm here breathing, I'm going to let y'all motherfuckers know about it. EPMD, my number 1 rap group of all time. That'll never change. Now you got other groups out here too. I can't, just off the top of the head, just from talking about this shit, just from rambling on, I kind of think of, what about them 2-man groups, or the groups that, specifically 2-man groups, that would just pop in my head right now. That there's two artists in the group, but there's one MC and one DJ. That's a whole nother level. But so when I think of groups that operated like that, straight off top, I think of Eric B. and Rakim, and I think of Gangsta. So, but it's hard for me. They're a group. If you think about the true elements of hip hop, I got a DJ and I got an MC. You know, that's a group. I don't automatically go to them. My mind does not go to them when I'm thinking about top. Well, it does, but not. When I say groups, I mean just two MCs. You know, I think of them in another light. So Gangsta, I kind of more so think of them, and they are a group. I would never part my lips and say they not a group. They are a group, but I more so think of them as just Guru, just rhyming over these dope ass primo beats. But it was more complex than that. Because if I was someone who, if somebody asked me to describe Gangsta and I just said that and I left it at that, I'm totally fucking disrespecting them. Because it was more than that. People think it's just, Guru was lucky. He had primo, ill ass, dope, classic, top 5 primo beats to rhyme on. But there was chemistry there as well. Because yes, Primo had the records, he put the shit together, but he also had Guru sitting there with him, talking about what records to sample, where to put certain scratches. You know, they put it together, not just one man. Not just one man rhyming over a beat, picking a beat from a beat tape or a disc and getting busy. It was much more than that. Because if it wasn't much more than that, then we wouldn't talk about Gangsta the way that we do. We wouldn't look at them in a high regard up here like we do if it was just that simple. Chemistry. Everything goes back to chemistry. That's probably the fucking theme of this whole thing right here, chemistry. So that's what I feel about the hip hop groups. But then now I'm thinking about groups that came out blazing, out the gate, dope shit, big hits, debut albums, just looked at and viewed by a large amount of people as classics. Straight off top of my head. Black Sheep. I think about Black Sheep. I think I just posted on my Instagram last night. I did like a little flashback video, and I posted Dreads. That kind of just, that made me think about Black Sheep. What the fuck they could have been if these boys had the promotion, if they had a consistent catalog. You think they would have fell off from a Wolf in Sheep's Clothing album? Did you hear how Drez was spitting on that album? The way he was flowing over those tracks? Unique flow. If you hear Drez, you don't think of nobody else. Oh, he sound like this person. He sound like that person. No, sir. No, sir. Black Sheep just could have been so much more if they had the promotion, the proper promotion, the push, a deeper catalog. I know they came out with another album, and don't quote me, might have been 1994, 95, nonfiction. But it just wasn't enough. When you think of top groups, when you step back and look at it all as a whole, their name will come up. Wherever you want to put them, you know, that's on you. That's your personal preference. But I just think legacy-wise, it could have been way much more for them dudes. And I know they disbanded. They disbanded in the mid-90s. I want to say 95. But, and nobody knows why. But shit, I'm just thinking about myself, or think about what you would do. I'm putting I gave you a classic album. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I put my soul into projects. And no promotion. I mean, they dropped projects after that didn't nobody know about. So, what the fuck I'm going to keep doing this shit for? But, you know, Black Sheep come to mind when I think about groups that could have been viewed so much more than what they were. You know, but taking nothing away from them. Hip-hop royalty, indeed. But with that being said, we just named all these groups. And it kind of made me think of, I'm about to ask a lame-ass question. And I fucking hate when I hear people say this. What's your Mount Rushmore? They do this a lot. They do this a lot with sports, particularly NBA basketball. You know, LeBron, Jordan. I don't like the Mount Rushmore because, for one, fuck the president's Mount Rushmore. I don't even fuck with the presidents that's on the Mount Rushmore. Get them the fuck out of here. But another reason is they do these Mount Rushmores, and again, is when we do these lists, it's all opinion. But the people who y'all view as 2, 3, 4, shit, I mean, I might not even have them 7, 8, 9. So I kind of don't pay it no mind. It's all subjective, but it's all fun. It's all fun in the games at the end of the day. But talking about these hip-hop groups, it makes me think, who would your Mount Rushmore be of hip-hop groups? And this is something I've never even thought about myself. But who would your Mount Rushmore be? I can't even think right now. I mean, like I said, EPMD, Run DMC, I don't know, Tribe, Woo. I don't know. Houdini, shit, who would you put there? So, with that question being posed, please feel free to email me or DM me your options, because I like to hear some of the groups that y'all come up with. Mount Rushmore of hip hop groups. So you can email me at thoughtoftrainepodcast@gmail.com or DM me as well on all social media outlets. And I'll probably run that by y'all again at the end. So yeah, send that through. Let's chop it up about that a little later on. So I checked out this Beanie Sigel Drink Champs earlier this week. Shit was dope. I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that shit for a long time. And I believe I heard Nori say he'd been trying to get him on there for 5 years. Or whenever he started the show, he'd been trying to get him on there ever since then. But he got him, and dope ass show. That was a dope podcast. I think any questions that people wanted to ask Beans over the years, I think he answered them. And Nori did a dope ass job, stellar job of asking those questions and getting it out of him. He tried to get him fucked up a little bit, but Beans wasn't having that shit because he don't drink like that no more. I think if his wife wasn't sitting there, maybe he would have had a few more extra shots than he did. But you know how it go when wifey's sitting there with you. Sometimes you gotta keep it buttoned up. But anyway, I think he did a good job, and all the stuff that we wanted to know, all the stuff about Jay. What happened? Tight-knit family, Rockefeller, Rock La Familia, tight-knit family. Shit fell apart. And one of the things that happened, it's like some beefs that happen, we here for the shit. We want to see some ratchet shit, some ignorant shit pop off, But Beans going at Jay, I couldn't co-sign on that. That's one, and I think we all can say we didn't want to see that happen for whatever reason that led to it occurring. And that was one of the questions that I think a lot of hip hop fans had over the years. Why did it happen? Why did he speak out on Jay? Why did he drop bars and go at him in a few songs? We didn't understand that, but he explained it. I think he, as a hip hop fan watching, I feel that he explained it in full. So it was good. Almost 3 hours, but it was an easy 3 hour listen. So if y'all haven't checked that out, I'll go check that out. But first, like, comment, and subscribe on my shit first before you go. It's fucking around. So I mentioned that Nori did a dope job with the interview. Which led me to kind of go back in my mind. I just, every time that I watch something on YouTube, I'm watching the video, but I'm also reading the comments. So, and that's what I do as a viewer. I'm reading the comments, and in the comments, it's just one common theme. One common theme all the time. Yo, Nori, shut the fuck up and let the nigga finish his thought. Let the nigga answer his question. Shut the fuck up and let the nigga tell his whole story. And I'm not going to lie. You know, when you first started watching the show, I enjoyed the show. It's a classic show. It's getting better. Yeah, I think with all the cutting off people and talking over people, none of it is done intentionally. But I feel he has got better with that. He's gotten considerably better with that shit. And he's dope and the show classic as fuck. I mean, you gotta think about it. If you sitting there smoking, taking 10 blunts and 15 shots to the face in one sitting, if you still standing and alive at the end of that show, I commend you just off that alone. You should get an Emmy nomination just off that alone. Because there's been plenty of days where I could not function off of one blunt and one shot. But those days are gone. Those days are gone. Long gone, long gone. Sober man. Highly sober. So, yeah, dope interview. The only thing I didn't like about it, and I know I'm nitpicking here, the only thing I didn't like about it was it didn't mention the roots. And I know there was one time at the beginning of the show where I heard Nori mention, when you think of Philly, you think of two people. You think of Will Smith and you think of Beanie Sigel. And I think a little further on in the interview, he mentioned again something about Philly. I think he asked Beans who was his favorite MC, who influenced him, influential MCs from Philly. And again, it just seems that Nori I think he just overlooked it. But come the fuck on. If anybody come to me and ask me, if you ask me who, when you think of Philly, what group I'm thinking of, there's two artists I think of straight off top. Beanie Sigel and the fucking Roots. State property, the Roots, you know what I mean. If you ask me about an influential MC from Philly and who the fuck I'm thinking about, I'm thinking of two MCs straight off top. Beanie Sigel and motherfucking Black Thought. Come on, man. So I think, I won't say he dropped the ball, but Nori be overlooking shit sometimes. Like I said, you sitting there at the table, you're getting half faded. We all done been there. We tend to forget a little bit of shit. And you would too, so let's not pass judgment. Let's not pass judgment. But speaking of Nori and Beans, they have I believe they have a Verzuz coming up. And I don't know if it's signed. I don't know if anything's etched in stone. I don't know if any of that's signed off on and finalized. But just for the fuck of it, just for the sake of shooting the shits like we always do. Who wins that battle? I mean, again, y'all can email, DM me your personal thoughts on that, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I love both of them as artists. I came up listening to both them dudes. That's my era right there. Capone, Noriega, Beans, The Rock, But at the end of the day, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Beans got that shit. And Nori got some shit. Don't sleep on Nori. Don't get it fucked up. Don't think he just went Hollywood, doing the Drink Champs, walking around fly, jewelry, this, that, and the third. Nori got some shit, some gutter shit. He got some big joints too. It's well documented that them joints he put out with Neptunes. So Nori will never be a pushover in any verses. But then we talk about Beans. I mean, Beans, look where he come from. He come from the Rock. So that's kind of saying enough right there. He come from the Rock. Too many shits with Jay-Z. Too many shits. He got 2-3 classic albums, his own. State Property, Freeway, Young Guns, shit, Features, Reservoir Dogs alone. Shit, that alone is worth 3 songs. He can take out 3-4 songs just right there. That's 3-4 rounds just with one verse off of Reservoir Dogs. So that's what I'm rolling with. I'm sure y'all feel a certain kind of way. You know, we all sway back and forth with the opinions. Shoot me something in the email. Tell me who y'all fucking with in that verses. Nori or Beans. All right. So I might be a little glassy eyed right now. And it's not because of this fine water that I'm sipping on. It's because I stayed up late last night listening to that motherfucking Nas album. King's Disease Part 2. I listened to it all the way through. Had to. That's my man. I was about to say something. I'm going to hold off because I'm going to speak on that in a minute. That's, in my book, he up there. He way up there. Sistine Chapter up there for me. So I had to listen to him. I had to lose sleep listening to my dude. Just off of first listen. I've listened to it twice already. And I'll probably listen to it 10 more times over the course of this weekend because it's just that easy of a listen. Them boys delivered again. And I'm just going to say this. Outside of doing the album with Large Professor or a Primo produced album, Nas, if he puts out 10 more albums outside of working with those 2 dudes that I just mentioned, if he put out 10 more albums, you better damn sure have it produced by Hit Boy. Because the chemistry that y'all built over the last couple years with these 2 albums, it's top notch. The Magnifique that's a bone. That shit is top notch. I don't know what strain of grass y'all been smoking on. Who's your supplier? Where he's getting this from? What dispensary is he getting this shit from for y'all 2 dudes? Because whatever the strain that y'all smoking on was specifically dropped from heavens from the God himself just for you to make these fucking dope ass joints that y'all been making. And that's my review of that album. Don't need to go into any kind of deep dive. You go listen to it for yourself. I ain't the Source Magazine and XXL. I don't know how to give a review. I'm gonna tell you this is my review. Nigga, that shit hard. That shit was hard. And that's my review of that album. Excuse my literature or lack of. So, speaking on the chemistry and the music that he performs with Hit Boy or performs over, Make me think about the past criticisms. And we all know what the past criticisms are, Nas. And they're not mine. It's just for people who I just really don't think. Yeah, we all got different tastes, but I don't think this is the case. This past criticism of Nas that he's been carrying his whole career, probably after It Was Written out. And for some people, after Illmatic, because some people didn't fuck with It Was Written. What the fuck kind of hip hop you listening to? But anyway, the criticism is, and like I said, I don't think it's because people have certain tastes. I just think this criticism comes from people who really don't fully understand. You fully understand hip hop maybe, but you don't understand the mind of a hip hop artist. And the criticism is he picks bad beats. All right, I've listened to every album that he's put out. Do I like every beat he rap over? No. Do I think the beats that y'all call trash are trash? Fuck no. What it is a prime example of an artist in experimental mode, experimentation mode. He's trying new things, and you can kind of, if you listen deep, you can see him playing with different things over this music that y'all had called trash. Some of it worked. You know that old saying, you throw a shit turd up against the wall, see if it's stick or not. Some of the shit stuck, some of the shit slid down to the ground. But I think it's not because the music is trash. I think we just held him to a certain standard. Illmatic was so classic of an album, not just a hip hop album, but in music, period. The history of music making, this album stands the test of time and is one of the best crafted albums made in music history, period. And I think that he set the bar so high for himself and the standard so high for the hip hop artist, the hip hop fan, that when he started trying and experimenting different styles and different beats, that we looked at it as trash because you wanted him to make 10 Illmatics. So here's the catch-22 of that. Here's the flip side of that. When he does that, he's experimenting. You'll say, this is the fickle hip hop fan. You'll say, oh, just stick to Illmatic. Just get Primo, Large Pro, and Q-Tip. Just do it again. This is what I want to hit. All right. So if he does that, you know what the fuck would have happened. And you know I'm telling the truth. And don't you lie to yourself because you know it would have happened. If he done that, oh, he's making the same fucking album. He's made the same fucking album 10 years in a row. I mean, why don't you fuck with some different producers? Why you gotta keep making Illmatic? I mean, the first time it was dope, but after the 13th time, oh my fucking God. This is what you would have said. So, with that being said, as an artist, it takes more, to be a classic artist, it takes more than just writing the illest shit ever heard to man and putting them over the illest beats known to man. No, it's about a mindset too. I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to do what the fuck I feel. And I don't care what nobody say about it. I love the fans, but the fans are not going to define my every move. And I will not be pigeonholed in to do what the fuck y'all want me to do. And this is how a real classic artist, a true artist, true to the culture, true to the artistry that y'all claim that y'all want these artists to be, that y'all claim y'all want these artists, that's the cloth y'all want to be cut from. This is how they move and this is how they must move. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. But you cannot be scared of failure. And that's that. And that's the way of hip hop. And that's the way of motherfucking life, baby. So, You can't win. You can't win to please. You can't live to please everybody. You just got to do you and be true to you. That shit gonna work out for you in the short term or long term. It's gonna work out one way or the other. Now, on to the next, unfortunately. On to the next business at hand here. So, we just had another listening party for Kanye's upcoming album. Upcoming. Heavy air quotes. Upcoming album, Donda. Another listening party for Donda. So, how I feel about that? How we feel about that? Well, shit, let me get my little bullshit review for it. So this is what I thought. All right. That's going to wrap up the first edition of Thought of TRANE. I'm glad you was here with me. No. Let me stop bullshitting. I'm just playing. Look, whenever the good brother Kanye decides to drop this album, I'm surely going to listen to it. I'm surely going to speak on it. But I can't do multiple listening parties. I heard the first one. I can't do multiple listening parties. I mean, I got a lot of shit to do. Well, actually, I don't have shit to do. But one thing that I won't do is listen to and attend a second listening party for an album that may not even drop in our lifetime at all. But we shall see. We shall see one of these days or one of these decades. So I know I probably touched on some things people may want to hear about, may not want to hear about. Maybe I touched on some things that I forgot to speak on, go into depth on, all that good shit. Or just something in general, aside from what we spoke on. You know, maybe you got some questions. Maybe you got some suggestions. Maybe you just want to call me a lame brain or an asshole or all kinds of degrading names. Whatever you want to do, I'm here for the people. Without no y'all, it's not going to be no me here. I've talked to myself several times. It's not fun. I'd rather talk to people. It's more therapeutic than talking to yourself. But then you start answering yourself and you start agreeing with yourself. And you start thinking you're a smart motherfucker and really you're just nuts. So, yeah. Email me anything. Questions, suggestions, whatever you want to do. You can email me once again at thoughtoftrainpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, thoughtoftrainpodcast@gmail.com. And also, if you don't want to do the Gmail thing or the email thing and you prefer DMing, inboxing, I have the social media accounts in the link tree. I'll be posting that link onto the YouTube description. You can also hit me up there as well. And I'm damn sure going to get to them, and I'm damn sure going to be speaking on them. So, with that being said, it's been fun being here. Thanks for having me. And with that being said, I would part with telling you to stay safe and continue to wear your mask. But at this point, I don't know what the fuck to tell you no more. I don't even know what we doing no more to stay safe. First is put the mask on. Now take it off. Or you can put it on now. Or you can take it down halfway. Oh no, pull it back up. I feel like I'm in a goddamn bedroom. So with that being said, just stay safe the best way you can with the common sense that God gave you. I think that's the best way to go. And I'd like to share some and leave you with some short words, but some very important words. Until next time, be true to self, do yourself, and we out this bitch.